Good morning, sunshine. Welcome to Morning Inspiration with Friends with our host, Miss Inspiration. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe as you sit back and listen. Good morning. Hope everyone is having an amazing Tuesday. We have made it to Tuesday. And I won't even lie, it really feels like Thursday already. Like, anyone feel that way? Does this week, like these last couple of weeks have been really feeling like, oh, like you just, what in the heck is going on out here? So that's how I'm feeling. But I hope you all are feeling good. Drop down in the comments one if this is your first time here watching Morning Inspiration with Friends. We do this every Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. ish. 7 a.m. ish. Right here on Facebook. Both of my Facebook pages has this live, and then of course over here on YouTube. And YouTube is the best place to watch Morning Inspiration with Friends because YouTube has all of the recordings. Good morning, Paula. Happy Tuesday. YouTube has all of the recordings. Facebook deletes them after 30 days. So that is the difference. So anytime you want some inspiration, you can go on down to our, come on over to YouTube. Today I want to talk about something, and on the surface, it sounds crazy, but it doesn't. It's not crazy. And I thought about it this weekend because I was reflecting on 2018. 2018 was the year things came back together. Like 27 is when everything like was about to fall apart. 2017, I can't even remember 2017. 2017 was like one of those years where God definitely kept me, but I couldn't tell you like what really happened. Like I know I was working part-time and I was working with a group of women that I truly enjoyed working with, but I can't tell you anything else about 2017. But 2018 came in, and that's when, for the first time, that I ever had like that soft life. You know, the life where you're working, but you're working in purpose. So when you're working in purpose, it doesn't feel like work. It's not it's not 40 hours. You have enough. You have a little bit more than enough because that was what my life was. So I ended up starting the year off in a negative. I remember that. And I was working at this crazy place in Brooklyn. Craziest place I worked at. I lasted for like 2 months there. Quit that place and I took a part-time job. Now the part-time job was initially the job posting said that it was part-time. Like I think they said initially like 10, 15 hours a week. And let's say they put out there like $35 an hour. So for a part-time, if I'm doing that in addition to something else, absolutely, it makes sense financially. At the same time, I went and I had because so that was what it was. So the week of me being at that crazy place, I did a fast. I fasted that week, maybe 3 days. By that Wednesday, I had 7 interviews scheduled for the following week. That's what it was. By that following Wednesday of going through the interviews, I had 2 job offers. I technically had 3 job offers. One was like part-time, part-time. It was like working with one of the after-school programs that they had out there in the city, enrichment programs, and they paid you like $100 an hour, but you were only working maybe 4 hours a week. So it was not like 10, 15 hours, but you got $100 an hour. But it was like, we'll give you 4 hours a week for $100 an hour, which is still good. Because if you're doing that on in addition to another like decent paying part-time job, you're still going to have more than enough to pay your bills and a little bit to like maybe get your hair done. Maybe just a little bit, depending on your bills, right? So my bills was different from everyone else's in New York. I didn't take that job. I was going to take the full-time job. So it was a full-time job being a technical trainer, which I'm very comfortable with. It was with the agency, but I was a contractor. I wasn't working for the actual city agency, which I'm actually okay with sometimes because they don't pay the city workers, but they'll pay the contractors. Make that make sense. So I was going to work and I was going to take that job, but then I got offered this other job. And when I first told them, like, no, I got another job, it's full time, it's just financially makes more money, they were like, no, we really want you. So tell me an hourly rate, tell me a number of hours that you desire, and we'll make it happen. And I'm like, what? So I think I just probably threw out there like $40 an hour, no less than 20 hours a week. And they was like, okay, cool, we'll get back to you. And that Saturday was Cinco de Mayo. That's when I'm baptized. Just I got baptized on Cinco de Mayo. Um, and when I got baptized, I remember when I was being pulled out of the water, because that was my prayer, like, God, you got to give me some guidance. I need to know which job should I take. Should I take this full-time job or should I take this part-time job? You tell me, give me clear signs. Like we spoke about that last week. When you ask God for clear signs, you have to pay attention to every single thing that is happening. And so when I was being pulled out of the water and when I was being baptized, the pastor had said grace. Like all I heard was the word grace when I came up from that water. Now, the part-time place, the name of the business was Grace. And that was the job. That was like the sign that I needed. And I took that job. And that actually was the best feeling in the world because one, I was really operating in purpose. I was working in a women's program, workforce program, helping them to learn administrative skills. These were already amazing women on their own, but a lot of them were finding themselves working at companies that had shut down after like 50 years of being in business. Some of them were sending business overseas. Some of them was just saying we're just shutting our doors because they might have been like one of the last few factories in New York City. And so I just really loved going there. It was, although we agreed that 20 hours a week, I don't think I've ever gotten a paycheck with 20 hours that I worked. I think it was always like a little bit more, like 25. It was always under what considered full time. I got paid vacation. I had sick days. When summertime came, we had summer Fridays, meaning that 4 Fridays out the summer, you was able to take off with pay and it did not tap into your vacation. Like that was like, it was a beautiful feeling. And that was really when I was able to come out of my financial struggle. That was when I went on a trip. Although I had to take Greyhound, I was still thankful and blessed that I was able to take that trip. But what I do remember about all of that was that I never felt like I was struggling. I never felt like I was working hard. And so over the weekend, I'm thinking about that and I'm just like, yeah, God, like that's why I like my job. What I do now, I'm still a contractor. I love what I do because one, I'm tapping into my purpose. I'm working with faculty members, helping them to understand the software, understand how to have best practices in teaching online or just teaching in general. My team I work with some of the smartest people. Like they're always exposing us to new tools and methods. They're really the ones that and motivated me to join Tulsa Tech Week when I did the AI chatbot and introduced that because they had introduced it to us. And so many of them are using it. And it's a great feeling. And so I was contemplating taking a job and I'm glad I didn't because it was one of those places where it was like, oh no, you're going to do everything. Like everyone, like, yeah, this is your title, but you're also going to do this, this, and this. And when I listened to that, my spirit was like, that's not going to be enjoyable. Like, you're not going to enjoy that feeling. And I was just like, yeah, no, thank you. Like, I will stay. And it's not that I'm staying where I'm comfortable. I'm staying where it just aligns. And I think that is something that a lot of people are not doing. And then yesterday, I kept seeing and hearing messages like, live the life that you love, right? That is a message that many people don't believe in or they don't believe is possible for them. And so many people are just tolerating the life, but they're not living the life that they love. And that's what I want you to understand. People want us, they feel as though that when you have ease, when things just, are just smooth sailing, when you're not in a space of complaining, because we're used to that. We're used to getting up from work and complaining about your job. You're complaining on Monday morning. And it's like, oh, like, I don't want that for us, right? Having a life of ease doesn't mean that you're lazy, doesn't mean that you're not hardworking, doesn't mean that you're not driven. We are just, again, unlearning these narratives that were instilled in us, right? God didn't design us to be burnt out. I don't care what anyone says, right? I don't feel as though he wants that for us. But if we operate in our purpose, this is the reason why I keep stressing about life with purpose. Because when you're operating in purpose, it's going to come with ease. When you take the opportunities that are aligned with your values and are in alignment with your purpose, because again, this purpose is not this big science project that is separate. It can be incorporated in what you do. It's the way that you're serving. So, like, with me working as a faculty development specialist, I'm serving the faculty. I'm giving them the things that they did not receive, right? A lot of them were like, they started education like myself, where they did not go to school. So they didn't learn all of these theories and principles. They didn't learn about classroom management. They definitely didn't learn about teaching online, because many of them are much older. And when they went to college and got their grad school degrees, there was no online learning, or very few. So a lot of them, when they started to teach online, that was really the first time that they got that. But I find so much joy in doing that it's easy, even the hard ones, right? I do have some faculty members where it's like I see their email and I'm like, and you just want to, like, there we go. But it's just like, okay, it's just one of those hard moments. But it's still ease. You still get the work done. You still have impact. You're still learning, but it's ease. That's going to make you want to get up and say, you know what? Yeah, today is a great day. I don't mind getting up a little bit earlier to have a meeting with my supervisor. Because you know that it's not coming with, someone talking down to you, someone's being condescending, they're, highlighting all of your flaws, not telling you giving you any feedback. Like, that's what a lot of people are dealing with. This is the reason why so many individuals, when they hear people like me, they're just like, oh, you're just one of the lucky ones. No, this is a choice. I had to choose this. I had to get off of that bandwagon of the work hard, you got to grind mode. Like, I don't believe in that. Like, I don't. I am always going to be a hustler, right? Hustle mentality is within me. I know how to make money, right? So but even when I do that, I'm going to find the things that are going to come with ease. The things that is like, yeah, it's not, the hardest part is getting there, right? That might be the hardest part of everything. But other than that, it's coming with ease, right? So you have to really figure that out. So many people would say, well, you got to just work hard. I say you have to have that love for that work, right? Live the life that you love and not the one that you settled for. I'm tired of seeing so many amazing people out here not tapping into the life that is truly meant for them. And it really could just mean moving to an organization that is aligned with your values, right? A couple of years ago, I did a workshop on figuring out and identifying your values. And when I remember one person, when they inboxed me after the session, they was just like, I've never met someone that encourages this type of stuff. Like, everyone wants you to go after the job that's going to pay you the most money. And it's like, it doesn't matter what comes with that. Some people, we see it on social media, they call themselves super commuters, right? There are people that will commute from Delaware to New York City every single day, like not just once a week. We're talking about 5 days a week, maybe 4 days a week, that they're commuting from Delaware, getting on the train, and they're highlighting this, and everyone's like, oh my God, that's amazing. And I'm just like, if that works for you, like, I'm not doing that. Want to know why I'm not doing that? Because I used to have a 2-hour commute each way, and I was still in New York City. I didn't even leave state lines. and I still had a 2-hour commute. So you're showing from Delaware to New York City, but then you still have to get from the train station to your job. And some of like, I think only one person that I've seen did they literally that was their job literally at 34th Street. So when they got off that train, it was just like, oh, I'm just walking maybe 2 blocks to from the train station to my office. Okay, fine, maybe. But it's just like, no, that's not, that's what some people want to settle for that, right? And I just want you to look at everything and just say, okay, what does this really look like for me? And this is something why I keep talking about. I talk about a lot. You got to figure out, what does that life look like for you, right? So if it is remote, right? Please understand, remote doesn't mean easy. Just because a position is a remote position, and I think that is something that I think COVID really made people think, oh yeah, it's easy to work remote. There are some jobs that you're always on. Like you're on, you cannot log off. They want you at this desk. They want you to answer these phones. They want you to respond to the emails within 4 minutes of you receiving. Like, it's not all what it's cracked up to be, depending on where you go. So you can't even say, oh, I'm gonna just go get a work from home job, because some work from home jobs are not remote. Did I say, did that make sense? Every work from home job is not remote. Because in the digital nomad world, remote means we can work from anywhere. That means I can pack up this laptop and I can go down to Gradient, which is a co-working space. I can go to any co-working space. I can find a coffee shop that I want to go to. It means I can work from anywhere. Remember, I was in Colombia for 5 weeks, and I was still working. If I had a work from home job, 9 times out of 10, they're sending me a station, and it's going to be set at my house, and it's going to be a VPN, and you cannot move that device unless you have permission from your boss. So when I say to you, you have to figure out, what does that life look like for you? Do you want to be stuck into one location? Do you only want to be in one city all the time? Do you want to have to always take, like, sometimes I don't mind working when I go to another location, because again, the work that I do, I love it. It doesn't bother me. As long as, hey, I can get to the beach in a couple of minutes, or I can go out to the pool in a few minutes from after I finish doing something, or I could take my lunch and go play at the pool. Well, not play, because I still can't swim, y'all. I'm working on that. That's gonna be my 2026 goal. I have to finish swimming lessons. I have to. But so like I said, you have to just look at this. And like I said, I'm doing that reflection, and it's really making me like, I really want that life back again from 2018, right? And I'm kind of living it, but it's still full-time. So it's like full-time hours. And I don't mind full-time hours, but I'm just like, I know someone. So the most I've ever been paid an hour, and I don't mind putting this out there, was $300. No, I'm lying. $1,000. I actually got paid $1,000 to speak. And so the first time that I ever got paid a lot was like $275, and that was after I quit my job in 2015. So from $275 to $1,000, I have experienced an hour. Right. Paula said, I can't swim. She just dipped her feet in the pool. That's right, Paula. See, I actually get in the pool. It's just I'm not going further than 5 feet, because I'm 5'6.5", and that scares me. I'm up here holding on to the side for dear life. So trust me, I know. But I love the water, so I'm always in the pool. When I went to DR, every time I finish something, I'm like, all right, because I right outside my room in DR was the pool. So I would finish doing the task and I would just go outside, get in the pool for like 15 minutes and come back. So, instead of me sitting outside on my deck for a couple of minutes, I was, jumping into the pool and getting wet. So, you gotta find it. But again, you have to find and create these things, because once you do that, it's going to make sense, right? Once you do that, you're going to feel good. You're going to be enthusiastic about doing those things. So, like I said, I just want us to have whatever ease looks like for you. I want you to define that. And if you don't feel like you're currently in a life of ease, then I do need you to have that conversation with yourself. I do need you to sit and say, What can I do for myself right now? And sometimes that's learning a new skill. Sometimes that's just going into therapy or getting a coach and helping you to unlearn those narratives and really start to believe, because that's really what a lot of people are stuck at. It's the mindset, right? Some of you already have the skills. You have the capability of going into a position that, or to a company that is not going to stress you out, doing work that you actually love to do and getting paid what you're worth, right? These are not things that I'm not telling you to go and get a job for $15 an hour. That's why when the whole issue with Tabitha Brown, when everyone got mad, good morning, Jen, when everyone got mad at Tabitha Brown for what she said a couple of weeks ago, she was telling those business owners, like, look, if the money is not coming in yet, go get you a job. Everyone just was up in the uproar. But like I had said, and I spoke about this before, it's not so much go get a job, right? You can find something that's part-time, that is still purposeful, that's going to keep you in alignment, and you can still make a lot of money, right? When I was teaching, when I teach and I can go to an institution and I have been paid as little as $20 an hour, but I've also been paid as much as $50 an hour. So, excuse me. So if I'm if I'm staying within the higher end, like $35 to $50 an hour, and you're giving me classes and enough classes and 10 hours a week, yeah, I can, in addition to whatever else that I'm doing on the side, if I have another part-time contract, I can still survive. I can still pay my bills. I can still enjoy life. It doesn't have to be so extensive. But people just heard get a job and they're thinking, she said go get the full-time job that's going to occupy your life, that's going to make you work 60 hours a week. That's not the reality. You don't have to do that. You can find something that is less hours, that is definitely in alignment and pays you more than enough that you need, and you don't need to do 50, 60, 70 hours. And then on the other side, no one is saying, hey, go to McDonald's and go work for $15 an hour, right? So you have to figure out, instead of being offended all the time, you just got to start figuring out, how can I make this work for me? How can I make this work for me so that I don't feel the struggle, so that I'm not struggling, so that I'm doing exactly what I love to do? And because you're doing what you love to do, it's going to continue to come with ease. Like, that's what I want for us. I want that for you, and I want that for myself. But we don't want to just keep tolerating things. Okay? So, I've been telling you, starting this Thursday, I'm teaching a Google Workspace course. It is still open. You can still register. You will see the link down in the description, and you will be able to register for the class. It starts on Thursday. This particular one is 4 weeks. I'm about to post the one that is going to be a 2-week boot camp. That's going to be in December. I want to do 2 versions of this class before the end of 2025. So this one Thursday is starting 4 weeks, every Thursday, 6 p.m. Central Time, and then the other one is going to start Saturday, December 13th, and that is going to be for the 13th, and then the following Saturday, 3.5 hours each Saturday. That's why it's a boot camp. So we're gonna kind of condense 2 topics in each day with the break in between as well. So you can definitely check that out. But yeah, hope this message has definitely helped you. I hope it has given you some insight, and I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow. And thank you to everyone that has watched, that has liked, that has shared. That definitely helps reach more people and get the message out there. So I am your girl, Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration. Have an amazing day on purpose, with purpose.
Wow, Tanisha, that was a powerful message. I hope everyone was blessed by today's message. Listen, if you are not tuned in, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Meet us for morning inspiration with friends every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m.-ish CT time. See you next time, friend.